The incident in Bree Street, which shocked everybody, as you can see, it was something from a movie, or you can think it was like most people thought maybe it was an earthquake, but nobody really knew what really happened there. So, as you can see, it was a typical normal day, people doing their thing, and then this explosion. So, it was really something out of a movie. Hopefully, they will come up with an answer soon so that people can feel safe as well, all those people which stay around there, because I mean, can imagine.
We are here in the Johannesburg CBD, just along the Bree Street, where that horrific, unexplained explosion, happened yesterday. Many saw, that explosion ripping through the streets, and we understand that over 40 people, were left injured after that incident, and one person, of course, has been confirmed dead. But just if I can just step out of the shows for my colleague Sipo to just show you around here. The scene here is still being treated as a potential risk area with law enforcement officers, literally chasing people away, diverting them to other streets because several of them here have been closed. And we understand as well that, people here don't have electricity, and water supply also has been cut off since the incident yesterday. What we also have been told is that some of the people who are staying close by in some of the flats around here have moved out, but then the businesses as well, operating around this Bree Street, especially, most of them, have been closed for most part of the day today. They've remained closed. But just to, hear from some of the people who said they actually didn't hear about the incident, but that they saw, it as it started. I'm now joined by some of the residents here. Sisi, you said you saw the incident yesterday when it happened. What exactly did you see?
What I see is that, okay, the incident, I was there in a robot. I was coming to shopping to Boxer, then I just bought to whatever it is, grocer, and it was a tragedy to me. Even now, I'm not okay, but I can speak. What I saw, before, the robots were closed for me to cross. Then I just stand there. Then it was a bomb or something that it was by, I don't know, it came from another way or whatever it is way. Okay, then it was just big bomb, boom, out of the way. Then after, I was so speechless. I stand, and then everybody was running and running. Then what I saw, it was a taxi bounce. Then after bouncing the taxi, I saw there was a mother who is selling the umbila nomroho, whatever it is. Then the taxi, that quantum, it broke her to the robot, and that robot and that quantum cut the woman the legs. And then it swept by. I just ran. Then I go there to the butcher. It was the next of my flats. I'm staying the Allied Thomas Street. Then after I go there to the butcher, then I was saying that close the door, and I was so speechless and I was crying. Then after that, they closed the door. Then after, the sound was so clear. What that feel? It was the dizziness. Then I was thought, open the door. I want to go home. Then when that I came out, then After I came out, I see the taxi that from in front of me. So there were people, we just took the brakes, we break the taxi, and we keep some of other people. They were so. I'm not okay. I am not okay because it's my first time I see the road. The road was so broken pieces by pieces. Explosion. It's whereby they were saying it was not explosion, it's whereby the explosion. They were saying that it's a gas, but I don't understand which gas they are talking about. I'm staying next to the road. My flat is next to the road. So I don't know, is it unsafe or not? And there is no water, electricity. I'm not okay.
Hi, family, and welcome back again. Welcome back to Thinking Thanks Tuesday with me, Zoliswa, or Xhosa Chick, whatever you want to call me. So, we're late again. Don't ask. There's a lot which has been happening. So, yeah, as you all know, 7 days ago, we saw Johannesburg, Joburg CBD, Bree Street, or Leon Street exploding, apparently gas explosion, underground gas explosion. So, yeah, family, that's where we are this week. Explosions, people telling us what happened, and so on. It's just bad, and that's what we are starting with today with our trending topics as usual. So last week, let's just recap on what we did last week so that we're not confused again. So this week, we're going to see our usual suspects again, and some. So last week, there was still the Nandi Saga. We didn't do Rosemary. Rosemary is just another one. And we did Zuma, we did Mkwebane, we did torching of trucks, people which were in court. We did Zandile Gumede, Zandile Mafa, and on the Senzo meyiwa, Zandile Kumalo was state witness number 1. So she was on the stand last week when we were busy doing the thinking tanks. And then also 1,000 shakes which went down in KZN. And yeah, I know there was a lot of questions around human settlement, who should regulate informal shakes so that they don't become a problem or they don't become a danger when the crisis hit, because we saw with those 1,000 shacks which burned down in KZN that the problem is the shacks are too close to each other and there's no way or easy way for rescue or help to come into the informal settlements. So that one with 1,000 shacks which went down, the question is, what is the human settlement doing when it comes to forming informal shacks around? What role do they play? Do they even go and check how many shacks are in that specific place, and so on? And yeah, and then we did also VS Bank case which was in court as well. So family, for today, as I said, we're starting on a high note with the Joburg explosions and all of those. So today we'll be doing Zandile Gumede again from our previous suspects. So it will be Zandile Gumede fraud case. That one, it's on another level. And then we've got Zandile Kumalo, which was on the Senzo meyiwa. As we said, she was a state witness number 1. So we'll go back to Senzo meyiwa. On the ANC Women's League, all know ANC Women's League elected a new leader. I forgot the name. That's what was happening. So the ANC Women's League had the conference and they elected a new leader. And the new leader, I've got the name somewhere. So we know the new leader's name, ANC Women's League new president is Sisisi Tolashe. So that's the president's name. That's what we know from the ANC Women's League. New president, I think she took over from Batabile Dlamini. And then we also revisit one of our stories, the Blue Light Brigade as well. They are on trial. We know that. And then we're going to Bree Street. And then we've got a part where question of the day, whereby we want just a question which we throw out there on Facebook, and now we're just going to make it feature here on Now Thinking Thanks, nothing major. And then also what happened in the news, the sign language. Sign language became official. It became the 12th official language, South African language. So yeah, sign language is official. So so there was a whole talk around that, and what does that mean to the sign language community, and also in terms of saying that now the sign language is the 12th official language in South Africa. How is that community being looked after? Is the opportunities for for that community, whether in government spaces or whether in public workspaces and so on. So, because it's pointless to celebrate that it's the official language whereby we're not really looking after the community. And then, as we all know, Banyana Banyana is on Group G, and they played their first match with Sweden, and they lost to 2-1, which both the goals from Sweden came at the last minute. Banyana, sorry, was leading with the one goal until Sweden decided that they're gonna stop the glory. And then on the Netball World Cup, you know that preparations are on the way when it comes to the Netball World Cup, which will be in Cape Town Convention Center, and there's gonna be a whole hoo-ha, fan parks and so on. So countdown start of the kickoff of the 2023 Netball World Cup on Friday. So there's the International Convention Center, there's a fan park where there's everybody who is anybody which is interested in netball or in the Netball World Cup can make attend there. There will be a lot of activities, music, netball clinics and so on. So that's what we're celebrating in netball coming to town. And now let us start our stories, seeing that we are ready for the week. Which story are we doing first? Let's see. So we already done sign language, Banyana Banyana, and the netball team, and the Netball World Cup vibes. So now let's go to Zandile Gumede. Zandile Gumede story is it says Monday court. Okay, on Monday there's a Zandile Gumede fraud case was in court again. So on Monday there were witnesses testifying, and apparently one of the witnesses' houses, a home was shot at, and then that made the witnesses to be scared to testify. So today, on Wednesday, which is today, I'm a bit late. I know it's Thinking Thanks Tuesday. So now that they were trying, the court were trying to find a way forward for the court procedures to continue. as much as the witnesses were scared now to come forward and testify because of there's so much going on. Apparently, they believe there's some sort of intimidation going on when it comes to the witnesses. So the witnesses are being intimidated by who? Not really sure because it's not clear. It just says that one of the witness's house was shot at, so that got the most of the witnesses, which are supposed to testify, frightened. And this is an ongoing case, so we'll check again what did the court decide on, what's the way forward, how are they going to proceed forward with everything and with the witnesses, or whether how are they going to testify, and when they do testify, are they going to feel safe and protected? So that's what's going on with Zandile Gomede case. It's the intimidation of witnesses, or maybe scare tactics, so that the witnesses do not testify. We don't know. That's where the Zandile saga is. And then on the Senzo meyiwa case, let's see how we're doing. Okay, in the Senzo meyiwa case, now we go to the next Zandile. So now we are on Zandile Khumalo. Zandile Khumalo, as you all know, was the first state witness. And with Zandile Khumalo from last week already, was being accused of fabricating evidence after she couldn't describe certain events. Apparently, her evidence in court and a statement to the police are inconsistent. So that's what the defense counsel was on about when it comes to Zandile Khumalo. Because with Zandile, she really doesn't want to agree that the person which shot Senzo meyiwa was actually in the house. So whatever she's trying to do, she's trying to create a story whereby the person which shot Senzo might have been, as they said in the story, that it was an intruder which came while they were all sitting and having fun and so on. And then a commotion broke off, and then there was a shooting. There were people running to the bathrooms. There were people running to the bedrooms, and so on. And then eventually Senzo was shot, and that's what happens. The person which shot Senzo apparently ran out or something. So with the Senzo meyiwa case, they're still trying to find out who's telling the actual version of what happened there, or who might be telling the truth there. So on the present moment, Zandile Khumalo was done with her witness from this week, and then there was a second state witness which was called by the name of Kaya Ngashe, and Kaya Ngashe is the neighbor of the Khumalos in Fosleros, and Kaya Ngashe is saying that he heard a commotion moments before the shooting, even saw somebody jumping over the fence or something, and then the person jumped back again into the house, and then after that he also wanted to follow the person which was jumping over the fence, but then his father or something stopped him from jumping, and then few minutes after that, that's when they heard, his father stopped him apparently because he heard a gunshot or something inside the Khumalo's house. So that's why Kaya didn't follow the person which was jumping over the wall. And so the story, they were still in court today, was still cross-examined and so on, still trying to get their stories straight and the facts right. As I say, that Zandile Khumalo last week was on hot water, And yeah, so there's a lot going on in the Senzo Meyiwa's case, because as much as Zandile Kumalo is disputing the fact that she had an argument with the then boyfriend, what's along with Twala, whereby apparently Zandile Kumalo had an argument with Longo Twala, which was the boyfriend at that time, and I think Senzo Meyiwa was shot during that commotion. So on Friday, Kumalo denied reports that there was an altercation. Oh God. Friday, Kumalo denied reports that there was an altercation between her and her then boyfriend and boyfriend Longo Twalo, resulting in the gunning down of Senzo Meyiwa. So she denied that. And then she was told that a witness would be called to testify that Meyiwa's friend Tumelo Madlala said a bullet hit Meyiwa while he was trying to intervene in a fight between Kumalo and Twalo. So Tumelo Madlala is Senzo Meyiwa's best friend. So apparently Tumelo Madlala has got a different version of Kuzandile Kumalo's story. So it seems like, yeah, there was, according to Tumelo, there was an altercation between Zandile and the boyfriend Longwe, which ended in Senzo's being shot. And that's what everybody always been suspecting, that Zandile Kumalo and Longwe Twalo might know more to the story if they were honest people. Because every time there's a talk, there was also something about Longwe Twalo being insecure and so on. And also in the same breath as well, we can't forget that Kelly Kumalo was in a love triangle when it comes to Senzo. And apparently there was also a question asked about SMSs between Zandile Kumalo and Kelly Kumalo, whereby Kelly was talking or sending SMSs to Zandile saying how she's tired and fed up of Senzo's lies and so on. So there was a lot going on between Kelly Kumalo and Senzo Meyiwa as well, because it seems like the relationship was not all cruisy. It had its bad rocks or rocky roads as well. So that's the other thing. And then on Kelly Kumalo's side, Kelly Kumalo's lawyer submits a notice of withdrawal to the NPA. So apparently Kelly Kumalo's a lawyer will not represent her anymore, if I'm reading that correctly. So that's what is happening with Senzo Meyiwa's case today. They were still on witness number, state witness. They were on state witness number 2, on the second state witness, which was the neighbor Kaya Ngashe. So that was him telling his story of his way he's remembering event of what happened that day when Senzo was shot. So that's still one of our famous legal court cases or trials, because we know we've been waiting for answers for all of these years, and we're still trying to put the puzzles and the pieces together. So Zandile Kumalo, we are done. And now we go to the Blue Light Brigade. In the highway assault case, the Blue Light Brigade, it says it's emerged that the Blue Light Brigades are in in court as well. So state is opposing bail for the 8 VIP protection members, and they've got 12 counts of charges under their name. So the state is opposing the bail for the 8 VIP protection members. Remember the whole video of them getting out of the car and beating up people driving a Polo. So we remember that story. So firstly, when we reported that story, we were told, or we believe, that the deputy president was not in that convoy. But now, as the court hearing is taking place, we heard that, okay, the deputy president might have been in that convoy, but not on the 2 cars or whatever cars which stopped and moored the people on the highway. And also the other part is the person who recorded the video apparently received death threats. So we don't know how true is that. So it says here, highway assault case, Blue Light Brigade. It's emerged that Deputy President Paul Machatile may have been in the Blue Light convoy when his security personnel were caught on camera allegedly assaulting civilians on the N1 highway in Johannesburg earlier this month. DA is accusing Mashatile of misleading the country after his office issued a statement saying he was not with the security team at the time of the incident. 8 VIP Protection Unit officers appeared before the Randburg Magistrates Court yesterday, or I think they appeared on Monday, on various charges including assault, malicious damage to property, and pointing a firearm at members of the public. The first accused suggested that the attack might have been prompted by a perceived threat to Mashatile's life. Evidence before the Randburg Magistrate Court has thrust the Deputy President's whereabouts amid the alleged N1 assaults in the spotlight. This after one of the protectors took the stand and revealed that Mashatile was part of the convoy where a few cars stopped on the highway. So that's what was said on SABC News, that apparently one of the accused number one, one of the accused, I'm not sure which one, but who took the stand and also made that apparently the reason why they stopped that Polo car like that, they decided to block and beat the people up. It's because they believe that that car was a threat, and they were protecting number 2. And then now it raised the question whereby, but then previously the guy was not with the deputy president was not part of the convoy. So where did he come from now? So what happened from the victims? They said while they were driving on the highway, somebody pointed a gun at them from the minister's convoy side, and then they thought that they were being hijacked, or maybe they were being under attack because a gun was pointed at them. So, and then apparently from the accused now, a voice recording, somebody talked to him over the speaker or whatever. We told him to check the car. So they went to go check the car, and that's when all hell broke loose, and they decided to beat the people up. And now they are in court. And in court now they are saying that actually they were not alone. They might have been with the deputy president, and they are facing 12 counts of charges. They are facing 12 charges. Yeah, so there's like that story going on, and I think they are denied bail. Apparently, that's what the latest news. So it's an ongoing story as well. We will see how that go forward. And yeah, from Senzo to the Blue Light Brigade, we move to our story of the day, the Bree Street explosion. So people, it was, I don't know, it's still like that anyway. Joburg CBD went down, like it down, streets are in a mess and so on. So, and then 6 days ago, so apparently it was a normal, 7 days ago, it was a normal afternoon, evening, and then all of a sudden, people in CBD, Joburg, Bree Street, or Lillian Goy Street heard a loud explosion. And then when they check what was that, then the whole road sank in. Apparently, it's an underground explosion. We do not know yet how true is that, because the last time or recently, authorities are still yet to establish the cause of the explosion that ripped through Bree Street in Johannesburg. So it's not actually confirmed that it was an underground gas, but because authorities still have to establish the cause. So now at the moment, they're still doing find who's right, who's wrong. So with the whole explosion of Johannesburg, 3,000 families were affected, one died, and 48 were injured. People were even stuck on the rubbles and so on. It says, the recent one says that until, that was what the mayor said. It says until the damage is fixed and an area is declared safe, officials won't be able to reconnect any services in the Joburg CBD. And the mayor, Kabelo Ngwamanda, and MMCs have conducted an oversight visit to the area as investigations continue into the cause of the blast. So for the whole week after the blast or the explosion, there's been oversight visits from your premiers, from your mayors, from your MMCs, your different guests, Josie guests, or your water services, you name it, they've all been there, or oversight visiting. And now that they still don't know who to blame. 7 days after the whole mess, they're still trying to figure out what's the cause. They're still trying to establish the cause, as much as they believe that it's an underground gas explosion. It's not confirmed. And the question now, with the 3,000 families which are affected, because as much as it's a CBD, there's businesses in the area, there's also families which are staying there. So I believe that nobody was been evicted from the buildings, because apparently they did come in, they did go and check the buildings, and they find out the buildings are still good and proper, so they do not threat to human lives. So there's still people, oh gosh, there's still people living in around the CBD where the explosion happened. And until God knows when, we're still going to wait and see who is going to come up with the answer of what really happened in Bree Street. It's like South Africa is on a survival mode. It's disaster after disaster. At this day, you don't really know what's next, because if it's not floods, then it's your explosions, which are also unexplainable. It's too much, family. So we're still cleaning up Street. We're still visiting the courts for Senzo meyiwa's trial, where Yozandile Kumalo's accused of being inconsistent, and also accused of fabricating evidence as well on the Senzo meyiwa's case. And on the Zandile Kumete, we've got witnesses which are scared to testify because they believe there's some intimidation going on after a house of one of the witnesses was shot at. I think it was over the weekend. And on the highway blue light case, we know the 8 VIP protection unit members have been stated as opposed bail, and they've got 12 counts of charges on their name. And it also appears that the deputy president was also part of the convoy, as much as before we heard that he wasn't part of it. So now with the evidence in court, it seems like the driver or the unit, the VIP unit, was not alone. So it was protecting the deputy president in whatever it was doing there. And yeah, we've done the smaller parts CP. We've got the 12th official language, which is the sign language. ANC Women's League has got a new president, which is CCC. And Banyana Banyana played the first opening match, which they are in Group G. They played against Sweden and they lost 2-1. And in netball, we are gearing up for the Netball World Cup, which will be at the ICC starting from Friday. And I think for today, family, that's all we will look into without taking too much time. So our heart goes with everybody in Bree Street and everywhere else where we do not know what might happen next, where we're living on a prayer. So yeah, family, hope you all will have a wonderful time till we meet again, hopefully next week on time. But hey, there's so much happening and there's so much going on. We can't really decide that this is the news we're going to go up with. We'll be busy compiling some news for the day, and something bang happens like last week. After we were finished with last week's news, then the Bree Street Saga or Lian Street Saga happened. I'm like, now I have to wait until a whole 7 days to make it to make the story go live, or to make this story trend again on my behalf. So yeah, family, hope you all will have a wonderful evening, day, wherever you are, and we'll meet again next week as we look at our current affairs again, what's trending. And we already got our usual suspects. So obviously next week we'll be going back to the courts. Your Senzo meyiwa's case is still going, and maybe next week, or who knows, we'll meet our other regular suspects as well. And we also want to see how the Zandile Kumede fraud case will conclude, if it ever concludes. And on the VIP Blue Light Brigade, we want to hear more whether the deputy president was with or wasn't. So that's where we are. I think that's where we're going to run off. Oh, Baba is still in family, we Russia, forgot the so there's question nothing of the from day. The question Baba. of the He's day not in is jail the yet. We're elections still coming waiting to see next year in South Africa. how Do they're you gonna think that catch there's him. going to be any Anyway, differences family, with have all a the outcome wonderful of the time vote? Will we see the till we new meet again parties which next week. are all Bye. over there, like your Action SA and so on, making an impact in our politics and so on, or it's going to be the same old?